So actually, you know what? Before we fully discuss, let's look at scene five. So I did finish scene five. So this is where the bad guys roll up in their car. I recycled the scene. Do you guys see the car there? Car stops. Recycling scenes is great. You got to know when you can recycle them, and when not to recycle them because you don't want your audience seeing the same scenes too many times. Does that make sense? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, good, good. This is the car coming in and parking. All right. Let's go ahead and jump in and talk about animating in layers and twos. So this is going to answer a lot of questions about how to simplify an animation if you're struggling or having any trouble at all with animating in layers. Where did it open? At the back? Here it is. So I started with Don here and I broke him down into sections. So the sections I broke him down is the head, then we did the front arm, we did the back arm, and we did the legs and the lower body. I closed out every single drawing so that I can color it with the colorized mask, as you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to break this down. And then I had to do the lower body behind the bar. So if we put the bar on, you see how the lower body is behind the bar? And then I had to do the upper body parts above the bar. Not that one. That one's behind the bar, but this one is in front of the bar. Okay. So it's a little bit of planning, a little bit of strategic planning, but it makes things really simple. So I broke it down and I animated one part at a time. So let's take a look at the stool. So I started with the stool. I started with the simple stuff. So if we go, my computer's struggling a little bit because I have quite a lot open. So if we go with the stool, you guys see? So the stool, as Dawn twists, the stool kind of moves away. You guys see that?
Yeah.
And in this part of it, it does come back, but not here. I just forgot to save that part. So what I did is I copied and pasted these and I put them over on this side so that the stool handle does come back. Okay, come back around. So I did the stool first. Sorry guys, bear with me. I actually have to hit play on this so that it renders. There we go. So I did the stool first, and then I went to the lower body and I animated the lower body. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So I animated the lower body. So this is animating in layers. And then I
It
did the
looks really smooth.
yeah, yeah, it did come out smooth. It's nice. And but you know what? These are the things that a lot of viewers that are watching, they won't really notice these small things. And you know what? It's unfortunate because these things take a little bit of time. But it does allow us to break down the animation. So you see here, Uh, the body doesn't actually move at all. Now, technically, it should, because if your waist is moving, your upper body is moving, but I kept it there just for simplicity's sake. And then we go up to the arm. So the back arm there, we'll hit play on that. I'm just breaking it down so you guys see. See, arm raises up. So you'll notice I didn't actually do any extra drawings for that back arm. All I did was move it with the move tool, and that's why it becomes more blurry as it goes down. So anytime you remove something that is already drawn so many times, it actually will get blurrier and blurrier and blurrier. Okay. And then we did so we're going to keep going here. The arm front. So the arm front is the newspaper. So he's holding the newspaper, swinging, and there's almost everything in full. So I broke it down into layers so that we can animate. So Robert, we're just dealing with layers. I'm just showing you guys how to animate with layers. Thanks for coming. And then we'll get into some other stuff. So when we play the whole thing here, you can see that the head is also animated separately. So I actually took Don's character and I animated him completely separate. After I passed this point, I went to fill with color, right? So he's still in layers, which makes him being filled with color easier. So I filled him with color, nice and easy. Let's just hit play there. There we go. You guys see that? So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Every body part is on a separate layer, right? So you can see that the stool as well, like I told you, it retracts now. I want everybody just to play a close attention to the stool. It goes back, just like that. And then it comes back as well. You see? So small details like that, nobody's going to really notice. But if you take all the small details and you add them up, that's when things start to look really, really good. So that's how I did Don. I actually animated him in layers. So you could take away any part of his body and the animation will still play with what layers are done. Do you see that? So that's a way to simplify it. So then instead of animating, what you do is you do a sketch of what you want it to look like, and then you animate each layer separately. Um, that's the easiest way to explain it. Now, when I'm all done, all I do is I merge Dawn together. I have one layer above the bar and one layer below the bar. So when we go to scene 2 here and you look at Dawn's stuff, he's all one thing. He's above, this is all above the bar and this is all below the bar. So he's only 2 layers. So not only does it save space and time, it cleans things up nicely. I do recommend saving a copy of your animated layers if you do try this, just in case you make a mistake. You can always go back and do that again. So that is animating in layers in a nutshell. That's what I did for this character, Don. I haven't done the guy coming through the door yet just because of the holidays and it was busy and I had to do quite a bit. One thing we're going to be doing today is, like I said last week, we're going to have everybody um, kind of working on their own scene. So it's going to be a little bit more intense, and there's going to be a lot more that is needed from you guys. So let's jump in and get started here.